Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. And boy, does that orange shirt look bright. It's a happy Saturday morning, and here I am once again with Walk the Web. This is Dr. Aaron Dishno, and working on creating the basically WordPress concept, applying it to a gaming scheme, and calling it Walk the Web so we can actually build modules that are plugins and put them right into our scenes just by clicking them in. That's the concept, that's the idea, and there's a whole lot more to it. If you stick with me, I'm sure I'll explain it over and over again. But I have a little surprise news that I woke up this morning, checked it out, and while I was playing a rerun, I got rated with a. That was really cool. I just want to thank him for rating me, and you know, it's cool that you did that. And I'm sorry to disappoint with just having a rerun going, but I do have to sleep sometimes. But I do try to come on here every single day, so I the reruns are at least channeling through, and we're getting new ones on there all the time. New day gets added, and then I play the reruns just so that anybody can catch me at some random times. But I want to thank you for joining me for that, and of course, everybody that follows, I really do appreciate it. And here we go, off we go. So today, what I'm working on is when I originally wrote this code, and by the way, you can download it open source. Right below the screen there's a link, takes you right to GitHub, and you can get the code that I'm working on. And when I first created it, I did some iframes because I couldn't figure out a way to do some file uploading while it was working from the admin side and different things. Well, now we have the XML HTTP request process working, and I was able to get the file uploading working from there. So now I'm finishing out getting rid of iframes. We have a total of like 4 of them left, and I'm working my way through them. So hopefully within the next day or two, we'll have iframes completely gone off the site, and we'll keep progressing from there. And I do want to do a shout out. Glenn, too, and a couple others have joined in and helped me with that with some sample code. And hey, everything everybody helps us with makes it one step better. So thank you for doing that, and I really do appreciate it. Okay, so let's see what else we got going here. Let's jump right in. Going into the code page. Well, first, let me show you. Okay, so this is in work in progress. Started working on it last night, worked on it this morning a little bit. But basically, what it is we have. Come on, wake up, server, wake up. Did I break something? I probably did. Okay, let's go to the code page first then, because obviously, I just broke something. I know where it's happening, and I'm in the process of adding in this section right here. Come on, focus. Okay, so watch this. If I remark this out, chances are I missed something that's variable in here or whatever it is. But let's find out. I'll remark that out first. In the process of getting rid of these different areas that uses iframes, under the media library, we have 3D objects, which we've already replaced this page. But when you click on one of these, such as the flag, this page comes up. This is the one I'm currently working on. So we've got it to spit out that there's an animation, but if I click on this, it's not showing anywhere, and it's trying to load some weird iframe page or whatever, because that's not set up yet. So that's where we are. We're going to get that page in place and reload it the way it needs to be. This data right here is that particular iframe. I mean, that page that comes up when you click it. We're moving it to this page, and I'm going to make sure that the button actually just shows this section of the page. But in the meantime, let's find out why something here, I missed something, because that should have made it. I'm sure it's something like I didn't escape one of the quotes or something, or I may have even left in a PHP something or other. But either way, let's find it real quick. If I'm not mistaken, since it gave me an error page, I probably could see it on my error page. Let's find out. Unexpected / blah, 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 blah. Okay. That happened at 9:49. Yeah, no, that wasn't just now. That's something I've already fixed. Okay. The other place I can check is we do have it directly on the server. And check the log file. Okay, where is it? We do not have a... There it is. And this one says... It'll tell me which line at least. Expected that on line... Okay, fine. Go large screen. 409. 409. That's like a... What is it? Come on, what's the name of that group? Blah, 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 blah. Beach Boys song. 409, my 409. Okay, so we have that. Okay. So far, so good. Unchange. There we go. I don't even know why I have an unchange there if it doesn't have any function after it, but that would definitely cause that kind of an issue. We'll go back and clean up some more stuff of this in a few minutes, but let's first get it to pop up the page with it intact. That would be good. Let's see if that's the only mistake. Yep, it loaded, so that's the only piece that it didn't like. Next, I'm going to do this. Notice how fast it works. It was a lot slower when it was going through an iframe, so we've also enhanced the speed of this while we're working on it. Okay, what I want to find out is when I click Edit an Animation, this is the process that I need to be able to do. I could have looked it up on the code side, but I'll see that is not what I'm going to do at all. Okay, we'll write one. No problem. We're going to change out what Edit Animation does. I thought it was going to, it's basically just sending the window to a different page with the object ID, upload object ID in place, and animation ID that we're trying to work with. So instead of doing that, we're going to create a function and make it do it that way with HTTP request, get the current animation, load it up, and work with it from there. So we're going to do something very similar to this section here. I'm just going to copy this because it's close to what we want, just not everything. Load animation, object animation. Let's see if there's find in files. Let's see if I've done that name before. Yeah, it looks like I've used that name. Nope, that's upload. Oh, okay, so this is a unique name for JavaScript, and it's not upload object animation, so we're good to go with that name. Load object animation will be this, and that was bad. Backtrack that once. Load object animation, and we already know for a fact we're going to want none of this stuff here. Okay, kick off that. And that's not going to be it either. And get we'll call it get object animation, which means we have the upload object ID. Let's see, we need that one, and there was one other field that it was given us. We're going to match what we were getting in there before and go from there. So okay, just going to bounce over here real quick, and it was we need the object animation ID and upload object ID. Okay, fine. So it'll be upload object ID and object animation ID. We'll pass these two variables in, and just to make sure I'm not getting completely off with this, object animation ID. Okay, it is the same name as what's in the database. So I'm passing these two variables in. that's what we're going to be passing in. We already have upload object ID on this page. So now we just need to do the object animation ID on this page. Okay, and it's as simple as copying one of these. That's what's great about being well formatted. The more we do things, the easier it gets to add things to it, because copy and paste the current format, add another variable in here just like that, and in the same way, add a function just like get object animation, just like that. I'm going to put it right here. And that one is... Okay, so now we've added that much, and we need to go into the code behind and tell it what to do. The easiest way is, in our page that we're getting rid of, I already did the select statement that grabs the particular object animation that you're trying to edit, and all I have to do is copy that over to, well, first let's create the function. Copy. And this one's going to be called get object animation, and it's going to pass in, we'll get the pass-ins here in a second. Should be the two that we just saved, but you know, we'll double check them, make sure it's actually used. Sometimes I have extra variables that I didn't actually use, and we'll make sure they're in use or removed, because there's no reason to have extra stuff here. So we have object animation, and that's it. Okay, so we didn't even need the other piece. So if I come back here, we didn't need to pass that. We just need that. Okay, that would only be if I actually need it for any other part, but because I'm pulling this, it's actually going to pull the values with what comes back anyway. So yeah, slimming it down to exactly what we need. In this case, I'm going to copy one of these, and then I'm going to change the function name to this, and put that here, and it's going to be that variable passed in here, and that will get us the file the right place and should return the response. And here we had one last piece that we have to update, and that's this iframes. It is now on the handlers page, so yay, we even get rid of the word iframes off there. That's always a goal of mine. Okay, so get object animations, and that'll get that. And back here now we have this part, which from this, it's going to bring back an array of all the values that come from here, from whatever this is. So anything that would normally come back from there, we're going to get it here. And now I should be able to... there's only going to be one value, limit 1, so we already know that it's either going to be 0 or it's not. So it's either going to come in, so all I have to do is check if this 0, instead of iterating through it, kind of does the same thing, is not null. Then now we can grab all the different values and set them to the fields that are used on our form. So we've grabbed the data out of the database, came over here, now we're going to populate the form. So to do that, if we look at the page we're getting rid of, these are the fields that I'm going to be looking for, just because I have them here. So I'm going to just put this here just so I have all the field names ready to go. I'm not going to use that format, but on this admin page, this is where each one of these fields are. So for each one we're going to set up, we're going to find it on here and then spit it out on the other page. Also, I have ID and name stated. That's because it was a PHP page, and doing the postback, it uses the name. Using most JavaScript, it uses the ID. I don't need both now that I'm going to be doing it purely through JavaScript. So that'll be part of it. The other piece is this right here, is the name of the container. And when we call this piece, first thing I'm going to do is we'll make sure it's closed. Oh, wait. I have a function for that. We're going to hide it first just to make sure while it's doing this, it does a nice cleanup in case it isn't already hidden. And then at the end of this process, I'll be deleting all that other stuff. We're going to say show. That means it'll show when it gets loaded. Okay, that's the value, and all I have to do is come over here and say dget, which is my document get element by ID, but instead of spelling that out every single time, I created a little function so that I can shorten it, and that saved a bunch of characters, even in longhand mode when I'm showing everything else. So this value is equal to the animation name, which now is going to be zResponse, like that, dot animation name. And that's what we're going to be doing a whole lot more of. So we've done the animation name. Next is going to be mold event, and we're going to find out where exactly that is. Mold event is actually a drop down, so let's get that. The mold event is here. Like I said, I do not need name and ID since we already have an ID. And that's what's used for JavaScript. And I've got a handy little tool that I've written a little function that helps on this one. So when we want this one populated, all I have to do is WalkTheWeb dot set DLL. I think it's set DLL value. And then I just tell it this is the name of the item and the value is mold event. And just to make sure that's the function name that I'm expecting and I didn't type something wrong, it didn't auto, nope it didn't. Set DLL, let me look for that. I knew it didn't come up the right way. Okay, why am I not seeing... Okay. Oh, DLL. DDL. There's my reason. Set DDL value. Okay. Helps if I type it right. Okay, then it'll automatically go through my list and do it. It's not DLL. Sorry, my programming background spit out the wrong reference. But here we go. Okay, so that will set the drop-down list value. That takes care of mold event. Mold name part. Let's find out what that one is. Okay, I'm going to just put that there, a copy of that line, just so we can do mold name part. I'm guessing they're pretty much in order for the most part. I wasn't too bad about where I put things. So mold name part will be this one. There, and mold name part there, and kill off that one. I could do a few of these. Okay, so start frame's the next one. We'll put it there. Then we have end frame. End frame. Okay, we'll just do this couple at a time. We have start frame right here. Copy that. That one. And right below it, we have end frame. Just going through the paces here. So, anybody have some great Christmas plans? Me, you're probably going to find me here. I'm addicted. I'm a programming addict. How's that? Animation loop. This one is actually a checkbox. So what I want to do is I'm going to check this value if this value dot animation loop is equals 1, then, and we'll do an if else, and then all I have to do is get the name of the checkbox, which is right here. Get rid of name because we only need one of these, and being a checkbox, all we have to do is dget this dot checked equals true. Otherwise, it's going to be false. That makes that pretty easy. Takes care of animation loop. Now we have a speed ratio, which I'll put here. Okay. And now speed ratio is right here. Get rid of the name version of it. Like I said, redundancy, extra characters of things that we're no longer using. Just going to wipe them right out as we go. Speed ratios, done. Animation end script. And let's find animation end script. I'm glad I was really conscious about putting things in the order that we use them. It's trying to be the same order as the database, and trying to line up some things just so that it's one step easier when you try to find things. I tried to write this whole process in a way that it basically is is friendly for everybody who wants to create their own plugins using WalkTheWeb. So I'm going to keep on showing you how to create them. I'm going to create a plugin. We're going to create some games, and yeah, let's create some 3D stores, create some games, and I'm going to keep on working on this framework to make it the best it can be. And if you're interested in joining me, then definitely we'll set it up in a way that everybody can make some money. That's the end goal, right? Stop current animations. And this particular one, for whatever reason, I appended that when it reads it in to make sure that it was coming through as a string value. Not sure why that was needed. Sure, I did it for a reason. But now that I'm going to JavaScript, I think it's already in a different... Oh, stop current animations. It's a checkbox. So let me do that the same way we did this one up here. Copy that. And I'm going to put it next to it. Stop current animations will be there. And the name of the checkbox... right there, and stop current animations there and there. I'm going to drop these down to the end. I kind of like the code when it looks really neat too, so it's a balance of two things. That one's no longer needed there. Add style, we're not going to worry about that because I'm going to be showing this section, based on the results, not that particular part. And on top of that, we have some sound-based stuff here, and we have a sound icon that has a alt and title. So we have a few things we're going to set on this one. the sound is actually going to be inner HTML here so you can see the word. Oh, that's the sound name. That's not the ID. Okay, do I have... I do not have the sound as... Okay, so since I have sound here, and that's going to be the name of the sound, right after it, I'm going to add... You know what? In fact, let's look at our other page. I bet I already have this here someplace. The sound ID is... Object sound ID. This one right here. Okay, so I'm going to grab that. And sound path. We got a couple fields here. I don't need... Those were because I was passing things back to PHP. Now that I'm doing things differently, I'm calling them and I can actually run them from a function in JavaScript. Not all of these are needed to actually be on the page, but the sound ID and sound path... that could be more important than I think. I'm going to do both of those files. We're going to add them in here. I'm going to cut them out of there because there's no reason to stay on that page once we get rid of them. I'm going to move them in right here where they're kind of part of this section next to the other sound files. Okay, copy that, paste it there and there. And now at the end, we're going to need... I do line feeds so that if you do look at view source on this code, you get a nice clean name for it. So I do allow the I do put line feeds r/r/n, the escape characters, just so that we get some good pieces there. Like I said, we don't need name anymore, so I'll get rid of both of those names and then finally escape out the ID and that the field is hidden. There we go on both of those. Okay, we've added these fields. This will be good for our page. These were coming from, you know, I think I need to make sure that some of these names are unique because they were coming from an iframe page. And okay, the admin, it is in two different places. We already have this item. That's my mistake. And since we're using the original page now, I do not need to create those. Oh, okay. I'm sure I got both of those. I can actually use those fields without putting them here because we already have them as... That's the details page, and that is the... I'm in JavaScript. Okay. Okay, those are all fine. The only thing I have to do is get this name right there. Okay, so since it's already part of our... oops, I got an extra tick there. And since it's already part of our core stuff, we already have these fields as hidden fields available to our code. So there's no reason to add another field for those particular ones. I should make sure that I'm not duplicating any other efforts. Since they're on this page, they can be used as a hidden thing anyway, even when they're not seen on the page. So I need to make sure we didn't duplicate some more names here. Before I do that, let's see if sound name was on my page. Sound name shows here in a number of places, but do I really, because I show it here and I also show it as the alt and tag or title for this item. I'm gonna have to check some things here. I'm just curious. Got to make sure there's not duplicates, and there's a chance. Okay, so that's the checkbox, but there is no. Okay, I'm not worried about this iframes page because that's going away. Okay, as long as that one's not there, I don't think I want to make sure I didn't duplicate some names here. Speed ratio, that's good to go. There's only one of those. I think I'm in good shape. Yeah. The last thing I want, okay, that's on the iframes page, which is disappearing, so we're good there. Null name part. A couple of these names are possible duplicates. Nope. And nope, we're good there. I think I already checked this one, but we're going to check it again anyway. Mold event, select, and okay. Okay, so I'm confident we're doing pretty good. I was glad to see that many names not currently duplicated. So what I have is object sound icon. So dget object sound icon dot inner HTML equals, and then we're going to give it the sound name. And then also, I'll just copy this 2 more times. One's going to be for an alt, and one's going to be for a title. And they're going to pertain to this item right here, the sound icon. Oh, did I get those right? The sound icon is the one we're putting with this. Okay, so those are correct. The inner HTML one is this one. Okay, so that'll give the sound on the page and note what it is. And then sound max distance. That's the last one on the page. And I want to double check that name also. Whenever it came to sound, the other things use sound, so I want to make sure I'm not duplicating the names. And yes, I am. It is in 2 different files, which means this one, I'm going to change that to object sound max distance, because this is the one I'm feeding in the form. If they were a hidden field, then I can keep it hidden and I can put it anywhere, and it doesn't really matter as long as it's on page and it can be reused and stuff. So a hidden field isn't so much of a critical thing, but when I'm doing something like this and it's actually shown on the page, now it's something that has to be unique. Otherwise, you get an array of values when it gets returned, and that gets kind of nasty. So we're going to do this here. Copy that to there. And I think there's one more. And what it would be is we have not told it to store we have object animation ID, which we have not put anywhere. And then we have the object. So there are a couple pieces here. There's 2 more pieces. We need the oh, that's not going to be value. It's the div, which means that's going to be oh, the name is, okay, name is a value, sorry. Wait. Hide animation div. That is not the right one. Animation name should be here. Copy that, and we just caught an error and fixed it before it became anything else. Okay, so with this, there's 2 more fields I want to add that are hidden fields. One of them is going to be the object animation ID, which we will put right here, and I'm gonna see if that isn't already a hidden field somewhere or being used. Page data. Nope, that's a dget of the value, so that part isn't using it. This one is getting the value, and we haven't placed that value anywhere. Okay, so that is one that needs to transfer over, and that is... Didn't even have one here. Okay, the same way we created a hidden file here, I'm going to put one in there. We need to track... I'm going to do it right next to the name because that's pretty much where we're going to be looking for when we deal with it. I'm going to put it right here. Now, let's just drop it there. Copy that at the end. It doesn't need two values. It's a hidden field, and okay, one more. It's a hidden field, and the ID of this item is going to be, just like I searched for, it will be this name. So we'll change that there and make sure we've escaped the quotes around it, and that one should be good. Okay, one down, and I think there's one more value that we're going to look for, and that is we have the object animation ID and there is upload object ID. So if I make this T, I want to make sure we have a value for upload object ID. Let's look for that one because I think this one does exist. If not, nope, it doesn't. Okay, then we're going to create that one too. And wait a minute, why am I creating a class? Wrong line. This one is there, and whoops, didn't mean to scroll it. Okay, so this name needs to be replaced by this name. Okay, so now we have that value and it gets written. We have everything we need to save a new value. Okay, I'm going to take just a couple minute break, refill my coffee cup, and be right back. Okay, I'm back and digging right back in. Sorry for the quick break. And okay, so now I got refill on the coffee. Okay, so we've given all these values. We should be able to use that to fill whatever we're doing. Now we just have to tell it to actually call this function when we click that button. So let's figure out where that button is. It would be next to each one of the animations, which this is my list of animations right here. It's going to be in the iterated section, which is this section right here, and it will be edit animation. So edit animation is right here, this line, and we're calling a, this is where we're getting rid of the thing. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this by saying WalkTheWeb.this function, and we're not needing that, but we do need object animation ID, and there it is. So this is the one we want. Okay, get rid of an extra plus there. Object animation ID, and end that quote, or that parenthesis, and we'll need a single quote around that because it is a string value. That will put this value into our function, and it should pop open our different piece here. So we should pop open a new window underneath to tell us that part. So let's see what happens. I know I could use the rest of this space to have something that actually just sits side by side or something. It probably would be nicer layout. Yeah, some of these can get pretty long, so I wasn't predicting how far they're actually going to show. So it's a little bit of both on that. I might change the layout later on, but for now I want the functionality there. Functionality comes first, layout comes second. Okay, so we have the flag. We know it has an animation, and so when I click on this animation right here, edit animation, it pops open the box and it is populated. Yay! That's a good sign. That is a really good sign. I don't have the save function yet because that's going to try to do a post back, and we aren't doing a post back at this time. We'll have to check the select sound because I'm sure that's not doing what we want either at this moment. So we're going to be doing a couple little pieces here and telling it where to get back to round trips, and we have to save animation, delete animation, cancel. All those processes have to be written. But for now, we're able to click on one and tell it to edit. When I say cancel, this should be, well, cancel should be straightforward. Cancel should close that window. Hey, it does. Yay. Okay, cancel worked. That's a good sign. Okay, so next I'm going to do delete animation. Well, I know. Add animation is another one. Add animation doesn't know what to do. Okay. That's all fine. Okay, going through the list, we've got a bunch of different little pieces to add here. So, if this is load object animation, by the way, I, just for my own, the way I see things, I like little order to the things. I try to do them in the order we need, but then I also try to group things that are like, so it's kind of a combination of both, but that makes it nice and neat. Easy block to read, easy block to read. My own preference. Okay, so then the next one is if we click add animation, which would be, I'm guessing it's probably, that's delete animation. Add animation is right here. And on click, we have an add animation button. We're going to find where that's at. Okay, and just so we can bounce back and forth between these couple places, add animation is there, and then we have, I know, we're going to have a lot of Babylon stuff here. It's not going to be any of those. Okay, good. That's the name of the function, which isn't even going to work. Oh, it was a local function in the, that's why. It's a local function for this right here, and this particular one is in this section. That's on the iframe page. That's why it didn't work. So first thing we're going to do is get that out of there, and we're going to put that into our admin. See, we'll make it WTW so we wrap it into our class. And we're going to put that right in here. Since that's load animation, we'll add this one right here. And I'm going to do the same formatting on everything like I always do. Copy that. Put it like that. And then we just have to change the function name line, which is going to be more like this style. More like, exactly like this style. And all I have to do is copy that over there and cut that file out of there. Now it's wrapped into the function that we expect it to be. If you add a new one, first thing I need to do is, well, where's that? Okay, so we have the object animation. Oh, it was on that other page. Now we moved it to this page. So it creates a new one, and then it sets all these values. The other one, since we don't have it there, is we may need that file. I think it's already set because we loaded this, but I think I want to make sure that it's set. We could do that by passing the value here, because we already know when we say add animation, we already know which piece we're working with. Yeah, I'm going to pass it because I want to make sure that this says what we expect it to, so that when we submit it, it becomes very easy to work with. So we're going to take this name, put it here with a Z in front of it for a local variable, get rid of that part of it. And now we're passing this with our add animation. So up here, the thing is, it is outside of this. So it's going to need to be like that. And this, if I'm not mistaken, is passed right there into there. So we already have the value. It will populate into there, and now we've passed it successfully to here. We set that value, and everything else are set to their default values so that we can select and do our whole piece here. Animation div, it's showing that at the end. And what's this one? Oh, we set the focus. So we put it down at the top of the page, ready to go. Okay, so that makes really good sense. Let's try that button and make sure it does what we expect it to. It should have an empty form, but it should call the form with everything at their default values. So we have the library, objects, and flag. Okay, and now add animation. Oh, what did I miss? Value of null. Cannot set property value of null. Let's see, that would be object animation. Load object animation. Why did it try to load object animation with a value of null? What triggered this? Add animation should have done anything else but that. Hold on just a second. Sounds like somebody's at my door, so hang on just a second. Okay, I'm back. That was quick. Yeah, UPS at the doorway. Okay, so it tried to trigger. Let me see what I was doing here. On add animation, when it did this, all I wanted was that. Why did it do more than just that? Well, first of all, add animation should. Oh, that's why it said the wrong name there. Okay, no problem. Object sound path. Let's find out. Animation name, which we already know is good from right there. The object sound path is good. Sound ID, good. Sound icon, which we know is there. The sound, okay, we're good there. Object max distance. This one is our bad one. Okay, so our object sound max distance is what we want, because actually it's funny that it didn't find it when I found two of them when I was looking. Okay, that's probably the file. I don't even need to check the rest of them. Let's click the button and find out. It'll tell us right away. Media, 3D objects, and click on our flag, and then if I click add animation, there we go. It not only opened the form, but it also cleared it like we expected, and it's ready to go to add an animation. Nice. Nice. And if I say cancel, that part still works. Okay, so we've got past that button. We haven't done this yet, and we haven't done these yet, so we've got some more stuff here. I want to add an animation before I can delete one so that I don't delete one that I want to use later. Well, let's do some of this other stuff. Let's set it up, but not test it just yet for animations, just so that I can do it. Let's click the delete button and I'll get that piece in place. So the delete button next to any one of these items, I'm going to need something similar to this format. And I'm going to put it right here. First of all, it's going to be delete object animation. And I think we're passing that, and it's going to be delete here. And I don't think I need any of this stuff here, because I don't think I'm going to be, unless there's an error, which I can do some error tracking later. Oops, I didn't mean to leave that there. Kick all that out for now. And okay, so delete object animation is going to be here, and it's going to be object animation ID. So we have, it's going to be the inline version, which is edit, close, delete. Here it is. And object animation, notice what this is doing is it's setting one, and then it's showing the form. In our case, we're going to change that to WalkTheWeb dot this function, and we're going to pass this value into it, just like that. And now show inline delete animation. Oh, okay, so I created two sections here. One is delete animation and cancel delete animation. I think I'm okay with leaving those because I think I already brought those over. Yes. It's the confirmation boxes. Delete animation right here. Oh. Never mind. I just changed one of the wrong things here. When I... Oops. Is that where it is? Nope. Go forward again. Leave that where it is. When I'm on the end of a line and I tell it what I'm going to do, that's not where I want the function. The function actually is going to be this. It's actually going to set that value, and then it's going to show me the confirmation button. By setting that value, then I tell it on delete animation, this part here, now instead of doing a submit click and all this other form-based stuff that I did before, it's going to do okay, instead of that, it'll be WalkTheWeb.this, delete animation, and in here it's going to be the animation ID. I'm going to set it to be get animation value. Delete animation value. Since I'm setting that value when I tell it to delete, then when it confirms it, that's the value that I'm going to pass into this function, and we should be good at that point. Cancel should be pretty simple. Cancel is delete animation value goes blank and hide the box. Hide the cancel. Okay, so that should still work, which I believe we've already tried. Okay, so that passes the value. It's a two-stage process because I don't want you to delete one until you're actually ready to delete it. Now that we have that piece in place, we can go look at the other side of things, which is right here. We need to create this process in our handler file. Case this, delete animation, break, and it will be on the uploads page, and in here I don't think we have a delete animation yet because it was in our class over here. On the post back, if delete animation was not blank, which is right, object animation, let's see, post delete animation, then delete object. Oh, it's on the animations page. I don't need to have it on the animations page. It was on animations page, but there's no reason for me to have to include animations and the uploads page when I'm doing this function. It's part of the uploads because it's part of the media library. So if I move it there, then basically I don't think I'll need it anywhere else. So let's see, uploaded file details, that's the iframe. That one's going away. This is the one I'm currently working on. This is the class, that's the one I'm going to copy. And here, looks like I have that same function already in. Oh, that's JavaScript. Okay, so that's the one I just wrote. Okay, there are no other calls to this function, which means I can uproot it. I can take the function from here and basically put it directly into the other code on the uploads page. Move it right here instead. And now we have the function here, and move the page. I like keeping these things straight because it tells me what page it's on. If it does pop an error, it tells me exactly which page to look on through the code. The other part is I want these handlers. It's the handler page that backs this up now, and not the iframes page. So that'll be there. I'm going to keep it where you have to have it has to be one you've added. So if it's part of stock, you can't delete it. You can try, but it won't actually delete. I'm not going to let you do it unless you have, let's see, unless your ID, well, it gives you an ID. Make sure you're logged in, but it doesn't necessarily stop you from doing it. Blah, blah, blah. I may have to tighten the security on that later, but it's not going to be an issue at this point because you'd still have to have admin access. You'd still have to get to this whole thing, and that I'm going to tighten all these down shortly anyway. Okay, so that will be, what that's doing is selecting the item, and then if it's found, see, it has to be your user ID that worked with it. That's what I thought it did. Okay, so it's updating the thing if it's already there, and it automatically does that. And also notice that it updates the statement to say it's deleted. It doesn't actually delete anything. So as a webmaster, you're protected because it's not actually deleting the record. It's just finding it and marking it flagged as deleted or not. So if you ever need to recover anything, there's an easy way to do it. You'll be able to get them back very easily. That's the whole ploy in the first part. Okay, so this one, did I actually use that part? Because the animation object ID already gives us the right idea, and this is just a second piece of information, but it's kind of redundant since this one is the key. So I'm going to change that and only pass the one value that we actually need, and then get rid of this. And now we're down to only needing to pass object animation ID and deleting this file. So if I take this right here and put it into our handler file right there, backtracking right through this, we have something that's already being read in right there. And object animation ID and that name brings us right here. Object animation ID and that name. Boom. That should delete the item. And that's only after a confirmation piece. Now, to do this, you know what? I am going to test this. But the good news is, if I look in Object Animations, first of all, are any of them deleted? No. Okay, that's a good sign. Because now when I test this page, it'll be easy to recover the one that I told to delete. Refreshing, and here we go. Okay, we have our media library, object definition. Go to our flag item, and we have this onload method, and I'm going to click delete. First, it should confirm. No, it didn't. Okay, property value of null. Uncaught. That's interesting. Okay. Let me double check the name that it sets when I click that button. That button is right here. Delete. And it goes to delete animation. If I'm not mistaken, that would be, oops, from this file that we're getting rid of. Delete animation is probably one of these hidden fields that I didn't. Delete file, delete animation. Okay, so if I delete a file or delete an animation, I'm gonna need these values. Let me first see. They don't have to be in the form, but they need to be existent. Hidden fields, details. Okay, so those are, that one's only there. They're only in the iframes. I'm not seeing it anywhere in the site. Same with that one. And of course this one. This one has an appearance. Where is that? Oh, that's being called in the code, but that's not using that file right now. And finally this one. This one we do call it, but we have not created it. Oh, it's right there. Delete animation, but it's on the page that we're getting rid of. Okay, that's right where I'm looking, duh. Okay. Yes, I promise I'm awake. And object animation ID, I've already added this one because that was very predictable. Yep, it's a hidden field right there. And we did not duplicate the efforts. Nope, we didn't. Okay, so I need these fields. Copy that. Actually, I'm going to cut them. I already know. That page will never work again anyway. This is only needed through admin. This is the admin file, so we're good on that part. But I think what I want to do is I'm going to put them up here with the rest of these hidden fields. Object sound path. Oh, here's some section right near what I'm doing. So I'm going to put these in here. We're going to get rid of all of that. I've already checked to see if these exist. These are the ones I just tested, so I already know that they're not in use. Okay. And I should move that other hidden file I had, because keeping all the hidden files together pretty much makes it really easy to locate them and to use them. Now if I do this, put it there, 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 and there. Okay, going through the rest of that. And finally, oh, that one, object folder, object file, delete file, and that one. Okay, they all have all the escape characters in place, and we're good to go on those. That will help with that piece and the next piece I'm programming. In addition, there's a hidden file that I had down in here that I already added that we're now going to move. There's two of them. There's no reason for these to be in this particular section of this form when all we need them is available. Are to be available. So we're going to put them right here instead and change this to that and that. It's all just part of being as neat and possible and keeping things in the same place so that they become easy to reference, find, use, whatever. There's another hidden field. No, that's just hidden. That's not a hidden field. That's a hidden text box, which is fine. Just didn't want a hidden field sitting around down here. I think we're good. Oh, we have another one right here. That one can move up there too. Yeah. These all get shown on the page all the time, so the hidden fields do. So it's available from any code. Just good to have them all in one place, especially if they relate to other files in this area. Then I really like to have them in one place. Okay, so then web alias, we didn't have anything else like that up here, I know. Okay, that does that. Just good to double check. Okay, we're good to go. Where's the one I was working on? Here it is. I like to leave extra spaces around the ones that I'm working on. That kind of singles them out so I can find them quick when I'm scrolling. Okay, now we have that value, and now that that's in place, let's try this again. Media library, object, flag this piece, and here we go. We have an animation and I want to delete it. It prompts us for it. First of all, I can cancel. If I say that and I say delete animation, that's the function that we wrote. And, well, I didn't tell it to close that afterwards. That would probably be good, but let's see if it actually deleted it. That would mean that the whole code ran through here and marked one of these items. Oh, wait, I'm seeing one right there. That would be our item. Yay. Okay, so that means it did mark our flag on load, marked it deleted. That code worked, but I didn't close out the... I need to refresh the list since it's deleted to not show it. So when I do this piece, we got to add a little bit more JavaScript at the end. This one here. Okay, so if I take that, apply, set delete date equals, instead of blank, null, apply, finish. Okay, so that cleared it back up, so it's in our area here. But when I finish running this code that told it to delete the animation, and it came back out the other side, so it completed its process, what I need it to do now is refresh our list, which is load object detail animations. So we're going to reload this list only, and notice it does use the upload object ID. So come back here to our delete list, do this function, which will refresh that whole page, and this piece right here is not stated anywhere. Maybe that's why I had it on delete animations, because if I pass it through at that level, then it ends up down here. Okay, fine, we're gonna add it now. Just had to reprove that it was in use. I didn't need to pass it here. I just need it to exist so that when it's done, I can refresh the page using that item. So let's get this, find in files, upload object ID. Okay, so this one is our, it's not PHP, even though they're named the same thing. It's not that, it is this prototype there is the one I'm using. That's okay. That's this line. That's the closing line here, which means it's this one. Delete object animation, and this part needs to be a comma, and it's going to be this value, upload object ID, and I think that's consistent through this whole section. Upload object ID. Okay, so it is a global to this function. So all I have to do is put a single, double, plus double, single, and close that back out. So now what I've done is I've actually input that to get passed as the object ID into that function, which will refresh this page. And the other part is we're refreshing that, but we also need to hide this div that was showing this section. So we have a little more to do here. Delete object animation. We're going to get rid of that button by doing that. The other part was when I know I say we a lot. Okay, when I chose this, there's two pieces down here at the end that get shown inline, and I'm going to make sure these get hidden also. So if we open the next one, it's already hidden. I could automatically, whenever we load an object, it's hidden by default. That may not be a bad idea, because then I don't even have to worry about it. It'll always be hidden when we load these. And all I have to do is say hide. So what's great about having a function that does that. Just so you know, the hide function, what it actually does is it is taking the style, display, and making it none, and it's also setting style visibility equals hidden. When we show inline, then it does the reverse of that, brings them back. There's also show inline and there's show. Show will be basically block version, and show inline will be inline block. Easy enough. Okay, so that should hide this part when they get open. I'm going to duplicate some efforts here, even though every time we open it, I'm still going to make sure when I close it off, it gets closed off properly, because I haven't checked to see if it's used anywhere else in the code. So we're going to make sure everything's closed off, and then we're going to reload the animations. Wait a minute. Reload animation detail. That wasn't this section. No, that's just one item. So I want to make sure that it's hidden when it loads the item. Okay. That should do everything we want. We set it back in the database. We've already shown it again, so it's not deleted. Now, going in here, media library, upload object, we got our flag, and we have this one item here. I'm going to say delete animation, and it's gone off our list, and it refreshed like we expected it to. Yay! That's exactly the behavior that we wanted it to do. Okay, so if I come back in here, because I really don't want it gone right now, come in here, and there it is. Set that back to 0, set that back to just a blank, and set this one. We're going to set that one to null by doing it this way. Quick, easy way. I used to be able to just do Control-0 and it always did it. I haven't looked up the new key that lets you set a value to null in there anymore, but Control-0 doesn't work anymore, so just so you know. Okay, so that finished that part of the gig. Yes, we are another step closer. This part now works, and we can also refresh and it'll be placed back in the area. Now we're going to work on some of this stuff and see if we can't get the multiple file upload in place and make that real friendly to use. So before I do, we're going to check the coffee cup, reheat my coffee. I didn't drink enough of it this time and it got cold. So I'm going to reheat the coffee and I will be right back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to do a few steps on the pedometer while I'm gone. So give me about 5. Okay, well, it's kind of funny because here I am, I make tea, and it's all hot and everything else. Then I cool it down because I usually like iced tea, put it in the fridge, and it's nice and cold. Then when I go to drink it or anything like that, what do? I decide, oh, today I need it, I prefer it hot, so then I put it in the microwave and reverse the process, make it hot again. Who thought? So go from hot tea to cold tea to cold tea to back to hot tea. Okay, yeah, and I was on coffee and now I'm on tea, so switch back and forth all the time. Okay, so now the next part is we have a file list and I need to be able to add files to it and delete files. Yesterday, I worked on some process for uploading files and I was not very successful in front of you. I got close. I got real close. But I did not complete the process because I did run into a couple errors and a couple issues. And after many hours, which I didn't drag you out to watch, I did figure it out. And it actually ended up a lot shorter than I thought it would be. So it was actually a really cool, nice process. So, couple things to note from the process I did yesterday. First of all, in here, we got form data. First thing was that first F was lowercase in my code and I missed it. So it kept saying object not found and I kept going, hey, I thought it was in all modern browsers, especially since we're only doing HTML5 with this code. So, why wouldn't it be there? And it turns out, case sensitive, and I typed the wrong dang letter and went with a lowercase instead of capital F for form. That killed that part of it. Now, once I got past that, the other part was passing in appending action equal post. And then a second thing was creating this piece. By creating an element called a form tag and then feeding it in as the form that we're using for form data allowed us to tie an action to it, and in our code behind, it allows us to read variables as post data. So I was able to read post function equals this, for example. One little catch. About 2-3 hours later, I realized when you're reading the file, it has to say files and not post. Not sure why. Was running into that for about, probably 2 hours off and on. I kept doing other things and coming back to it. It's not like I sat there hitting my head against the wall for 2 hours. But like I said, that was something, and that was the piece right there. This little files brought in the files. Then immediately afterwards, I was able to take that uploaded file, bring it in here, and bam, thing worked. And it now uploads files without any problem at all. And it actually works really quick. So I'm impressed with the functionality and how quick that works. Okay, with that said, here's the deal. This next part, I not only want to be able to upload a file, which is, like I said, this process right here, but I'm going to allow you to multi-select and upload more than one file at the same time. So we're going to do a couple pieces here. We're going to modify it. Notice that in this process, we're only grabbing file 0, but we're going to check the count of that, and we're going to actually cycle through and create a different process for each one of the files that we're trying to upload. That way we can basically reiterate it and just pow, 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 bring in all the files, and you're good to go. I probably need to make a limit so that people can't select more than, let's say, I don't know, because these processes are going to kick off at the same time. I don't, at this point in time, I don't feel a need to add worker bees where, hey, run X number at a time, queue them up, and keep on processing through them. I think it's actually better to make it where you can select, 5 or 10 files at the same time and just run them at the same time. System can handle that, and it seems to work just fine. So I think at this level, that would be plenty. Probably would be the best bet if we only did, a few files at once, 3 to 5 files at once, but I think you can handle probably up to 10. So I'll put a limit on it where you can only do a certain amount of files at the time, and then it'll it'll let you reselect some more and add some more afterwards. But the typical part here, well, I don't know. Let me just think about that one. We'll see if it causes any problems. If it does, then that gives us enough of a reason not to do it that way. Of course, there's always a limit to everything. We're not going to take subdirectories and go into and iterate through them and everything else. We're making you flatten out the files and putting them all in one folder at this time. Maybe later on we'll put it where you can have your textures in a different subdirectory or whatever. But for now, I'm not quite doing that. Okay, with that said, now, upload file is this one. And when I created this in the background, it's right here. We also have files upload, which is the second version of this. And we're going to create the function that lets it do more than one file at a time. Then we just have to choose between these two items whenever we're doing something. That's in the admin page. I could see a reason later on where we're going to want this in the core page. Well, I think we'll move it when it's time for that. But let's say you write a plugin and you want to be able to upload a picture to a blog. You're going to need the upload process. And since this already does it so smooth, we'll see. We'll see. For now, I'll keep it where it's at until I find the need for it to be somewhere else. But then we also have the functions available, so you can call the upload class and you can actually do the same stuff. So we'll see if we need it. Okay, because the handler already brings in these classes, so we've got a lot of stuff. Okay, so this one here, files upload. What I'm going to do, first of all, just to prepare for this, is I'm going to take this class, copy that, and we're going to make a second one, upload files, which I think should be pretty unique. Oh, it is. Wow, cool. I never know. So, whoops. I copied before I pasted. Didn't like that. Okay, this particular one, what we're going to do is instead of this files 0 here, what we're going to do is for if files upload, which is our second version, files upload. If files upload files dot length is greater than 0. I guess I could use this for both of them. Well, there's times I only want one file. So if you select multiple files, I'm only going to grab one of them. I'm not even going to look at the other files that you selected. So I kind of want two functions just so I can force it to only use one at a time. Force you to use one file if that's what you're supposed to be doing at the time. And so we'll do that. And then for var I equals 0, I less than this. It's going to be easier if I do this. I think it's just easier if I call it files without having to type this each time. Plus, it becomes a local variable in this class, which means it doesn't have to keep on going all the way back to the document model to get that particular name. So zfiles length is that, and then I just need that here, and I++. Now we're doing a loop, and we're going to loop this whole section. Which I try to indent things as I go. Okay, then we have, it's files, not file upload. And also, instead of file 0, it's going to be file I. file I. And if I need to, I can even do copy if, oh, here it is again. It's files. I don't need all that. That's right. Let's change it here. And let's change it here. That shortened that name quite a bit. Okay, so if I say if files is not null, then we're going to do this process. So we're only acting on something that actually has basically a heartbeat. Anything that actually is a file object, it'll take it. It's going to go append upload file in the file that it calls. It will take this. It's going to take one file at a time. There's the file, there's the name, and it's going to do this process on it, and it's going to be doing this load. This reloads objects. I do not need that there. I could say if I equals length minus 1, then run this process, but this isn't the right one. I need to check which list I'm going to be refreshing. So that's not it. That's another place where I was uploading files. So when I did it, I was telling it which thing to do. That is going to change depending on wherever I'm at. I may even pass that function here. I may pass it. Then I can just fire off whatever function happens after the fact. That's a possibility. Huh. That's a thought. When I use this more than once, I'm going to be changing that. I'll be passing the function that we want to run at end of it when it's finished doing all of its steps. So in this section, what we'll have is if I equals z files length minus 1, then that's where it will run the encode. Okay, so that'll be when we've refreshed our list. So in this case, right now, upload files is what we're going to be striving for. And let's start by, if I click this button, that's what I need to trigger. So upload or replace files, let's see what that's doing currently. I'm guessing it is on click. Okay, so it's telling me what button to click. That's not the right one. We're going to change that. Upload button. Copy. Before I move to that upload button, which is right there, and that's the on click we're going to change, what I want to do is add this function to right here. So on change equals WalkTheWeb dot this function. Okay, so now we have upload files and upload file, two different functions it runs based on which one we select. So if I select this one, when I click that upload button, I want it to go to this button here. Now I'll still have to do some extra coding to get the top button to do what I want it to. Because technically you should be able to use this button or this button and upload files to here. So when you're on this page and these conditions, I'll make sure that one does the same thing as this, but we'll do that after the fact. That's just where that's at. Okay, so now that I've done that, let's refresh this, and I should be able to select the files, and technically I should be able to upload more than one file. Let's find out how slick that was. I didn't tell it what to do afterwards. One more piece is after this file runs this section, well, the easiest way to find it is go to here. Since I moved out of that area. Okay. When I run this file, what I need it to do afterwards is I need it to do, I need it to reload that section of the page. These are load objects div. The name automatically does the files. Okay, so the files part here, I can't call it directly under these things. I do not necessarily have all that information, but when I re-upload, when I run this process, it does do it, and I know the upload ID object ID, upload object ID. So if I take this here, okay, and go back to here, and okay. Okay, so I need this variable coming back from this when I upload a file. That is, I need that to upload, to refresh this page. What am I going to do? Wait, I know what to do. We're going to call this name here. And whenever it comes through as undefined, then I will have it read in the variable for this. That will work. Because we put this into a, we've already loaded this into a document file. So into the fill in the blank, you know, the text box. Okay, so if this equals undefined, then this equals dget and dot value, and that's going to be, we have it right in here. It's, oh, I just moved them up here. Sorry. It will be this one right there. So that way it'll refresh. I don't have to pass the value. It automatically knows whenever you're doing this, bring the one that you're currently loaded. And since I haven't set a new one, it will use that one. Okay, that gets us that far. I want to make sure when we load this section that we are filling in this blank. Open object page form. That's doing all that, and we're getting the details name. We're doing this, and no, see, I did not set it. Since we know we have to have one of those to bring back a folder of anything, once I get past this piece, I think what I want to do is I'm going to say if it's found, which is right in this area, and I'm going to set that equal to it will be z response and the upload object ID. That way we've already pulled it. If it's validated and if it's an actual thing, then we set it into this field so that from here on forward, once we've loaded one, it is the one we've loaded and it stays in our memory and we can recall on it. So then when we do this other step, we're just recalling the value that we already set. Cool. Okay, and that should get us past that piece. So let's test. Now I can test that piece. That's all there was. I wanted to make sure that it had to have that value to refresh afterwards. So we might upload files to that directory, but we wouldn't know it. And just to really prove the point, I'm going to open up that directory and we're going to look uploads, content. We've been playing around with uploads, users here, and this is objects, and we've been messing around with the flag. That's interesting because, oh, that's the default flag. I'm not using the flag I just uploaded. Never mind. Let's do computer, which only has one file in it so far. That's a good one to choose. Okay, so that's the files I'm going to do as a test case. Let's go here, objects, and go to computer, which loads this piece. Now upload file. If I click this, I'm in this area and I should be able to select more than one file. Ooh, did I not turn something on? Because it's not letting me select multiple files. Huh. Well, let's first test it for one file. Nah, I didn't like that. $58.15. Let's see what line number that is. 58. What'd I do wrong? I know. 58.15. Oh, there is no JSON response. I didn't set anything to come back. Or did I? Okay. Well, we know we didn't upload a file. That would have been guessing a lot. See, I can do a single file if I pull this one, because I know that one works. But this one, I'm using the same file over and over again. It should be doing the same process, but it brought back an error. Oh, there's an easy way. Let's first check the error log here and see, no, it didn't do anything there. Okay, then the other way is look on the actual server and check for a different kind of error that wasn't trapped. It's usually going to be right near the top. There it is. And it doesn't have anything. Okay, no actual error. It just didn't find anything. So I'm going to delete that so it comes up on top next time. And we're getting there. We're getting there. Let me find out, first of all, before we actually send this off and tell it to do anything with it, well, I guess it's okay if we send. I want to see, just right here, WalkTheWeb log, and I'm going to find out if this name exists. File name equals that. So each time it tries to send something off, which is only one in this case, it should do this, which means file length should be greater than 0. If not, let me find out if maybe that was the other case. We're going to check this to see file length, and that will be files. Length. Okay, that should trigger the response here, and we'll see what it actually does. Upload. Okay. Well, at least we should get a little bit more information since it gave me an error there on a certain line and just means that it didn't return anything, but that doesn't, well, we'll have to see. Because if there's an error on the page that it tried to load or something like that, yeah. Maybe I need to make the form, well, the form generates on the fly. I never append it to the document, so it's a loose form. Maybe I need to rename them so that they're not all the exact same form. I don't know. Because it could be treating it as if it's a different, form field. I just thought of something. The form field, per se, files upload. When I run this process, it should be, you know what? I do not need to run this more than once here and do them one page per thing. I need to reverse that logic. I need to send the whole thing in and then pan through them on the other side, which means append this field, because now it matches the name of the field that we're pulling it from. That's what it needed to match this and bring it in. So we do not need to cycle through each one of the files. Or do we? Yeah, maybe we do. Because for each one, if we grab this and we tell it which file we're working with to append, well, I guess I got some more learning to do. Okay, for now, until I figure that one out, I can see I got a couple of errors in my thought pattern there. But what I can do is this. We have file upload and files upload. If I take this and put it there for now, just until I get time to sort that out. And actually, I don't even need to do that. Instead of clicking this one, we're going to click the single file one, which is this. So if I look for where I put that name, find in files, and right here, change that to a single file thing. I'll get the multi-file upload working, but let's see if we can do a single file first. This should use the other process that worked yesterday. So it worked as early as yesterday. And I have a feeling that it has to do with submitting the whole thing as the name. So I think the name part was wrong, but I mean was where I made the mistake. But then I have to send the whole thing in and cycle it through based on which value I'm putting in there at the time. If that makes sense. We'll see. We'll see. There's two sides of that fence. Okay, objects, we'll go computer, and if I just say replace this file, pops open a box, computer Babylon manifest, and no, it didn't like that. 5790. Now, this is where I broke what I did yesterday. I already know I did. Okay, so here's the deal. 5790's right here, and it's trying to do a response from this to parse out that information when it comes back to me. For beginners, it did not upload the file. Okay. That was working. On a different page. I think it's going to the right folder. trying to think if there's another piece that I need to pass with it. Because watch this. If I go back to, okay, let me go back to here. And if I just say upload file, ooh, we're not getting there now. Ah, oh, come on, I had that part working. Don't break my stuff. Let me refresh the page. If I go here, and then I go upload file, what's going on? Upload file should have been, no, start upload file image. That's not the right piece. When I click this link, that's when I need to change what this says. This should be number 4. Yeah, set menu, item menu 4. I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. It's not going to do the right refreshing page afterwards for what it's doing, but there's a different issue here, and that is this item. When it's 4, this should have upload object div. And this one doesn't do anything for that button on the top. Where am I setting that button? When you click this. Okay, so what I need to do is, first of all, I need to make sure that we're running the function that we need at this point in time. And I can tell you already what the function is. The function is... that. Okay, so what happens is this. When I click that button, I tell it to do a number of things. See, start image upload, this, enter HTML, and then it decides what to do with it there. That's what it should have done. Start upload image. Start upload image, none of that's needed. On change here, enter HTML equals, see, I'm changing it here. That's submitting a button that I'm no longer using. That's in the iframes pages. We're not using this one or that one. And this one says this. So why did I not get... That should be setting which one it's going to use. Just going through some things in my head here. Okay. See, this sets the different values of what that inner HTML is going to say at any point in time. This start upload image should have done what I wanted it to, which is... see, Windows start upload image. That one's on the iframe page. I'm not using that one either. That's all it should do. Wait a minute. What's this one? Why is this one saying parent? There's a problem. It should be that way because it no longer goes to the parent. Start upload image. Find in files. And from here, we should be looking at the button and then deciding what it's going to do based on the button. When it looks at the button, we get just that for now. I'm not doing these ones because that's something else I'm going to be changing as I get rid of iframes. So upload primary 3D file is the only one that actually fires off when you push that button. That should have been the case, but what happens is it's not setting it to this like I thought it would. So where under, let's go back another step here. It should be setting that button name of, let me get, so this button name right here should be set to those words, which are upload primary 3D file. It should be doing that reset upload button. Oh, reset upload button should give us window parent. Why is it going to window parent? It's not running that from a parent anymore. Okay, there is my problem. Each one of these that it was checking for are looking for something in the parent. We are getting rid of iframes, and that part isn't happening correctly. So as we get rid of these iframes, this is going to be the case. And I can tell you right now, this is going to break a bunch of the ones I haven't done yet. But that's fine, since they're the ones I'm going to fix anyway. See, it's looking for window parent, but the problem is the window parent, we're not setting that one anymore. I've already fixed that part. So we're kind of like in limbo between two different parts here. We need these gone all the way through here. I'm kind of looking as I go, otherwise I'd do a global search and replace and kill them all off at once. But I kind of want to know which pieces I'm getting into. Oh, this one's running from the iframe. That's not even the one I'm running. No wonder I didn't bother with that. No, don't care about that. That means that one's on the iframe. Oh, I don't need that one. I just need this one. This one is running from the current folder. This is the one that we're running. Okay, that other one is a non-issue. It'll be deleted anyway. That whole iframe page is going to be deleted after I'm done getting these iframes out of here. Okay. So I should be hitting reset upload button. Should be happening when I choose the menu select, which is okay, fine, I already lost my menu. This one, I need that one, which is set image menu. That's what I wanted. Come on back, come on back. No blue screens allowed. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Come on back. Don't know why it does that every once in a while. That was right after a Microsoft update. It started doing that every once in a while. It has to do with the whole reconnecting to remote desktop. And here it goes. Come on, find it. Black screen. Black screen's better than blue screen. We know that. And there it is. Okay, so find and image menu, find next. Oh, that's why I didn't do a global find on this one. Okay, so screen number 4, even though it does this stuff, what I should be doing is this also, because that will reset the button, or unless I already have that in here. Oh, it is doing it afterwards. It's doing after. Resetting the upload button should have got that place in line. Okay, so here's that, and that's not null. Category is not set. We didn't set the category. Copy that. Okay, so when is the category set? Category is no, it's not set there. Is this the category set? Yes, file select category. Oh, I'm getting the category. Okay, I got a little... Okay, because I got rid of the iframe, I got some patchwork to do here. Here's the deal. This selects the category. This button, once it does that... Oh, that's funny. Okay, so then that's there. I don't even know why I made it where it took out the other parts. So this, changing this, has a different function than when I go this other route. Because see, watch. Here, going to here, didn't get rid of the other buttons, which I kind of like it that way, but it didn't set this. So when I select this, this should also match. Or should it? Well, for 3D objects, it should. Okay, I'm confusing myself. I'm confusing myself. I've got a handful of pieces, and because it's in limbo between the iframes and the other one, it's starting to bounce back and forth. The only problem is I'm watching the clock and I'm running out of time. I've got some place I gotta be. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to clean up some of this mess here that I made. I do know, watch this. Okay, just so you know, I wasn't something about this. See, this doesn't say, it says upload file. That's not going to work right now, and because it doesn't go to the right one, it doesn't work. But if I do this, no, see, that didn't change it too. Okay, that's what's wrong. Let's check this. I want to find out what's going on. Let's find out what the category is right here. And this is part of the problem. If it doesn't find the right, oops, I didn't mean to copy and paste that. We already have it there. I just want to see this category right here. And then I'm going to find out, first of all, is it getting object, or maybe it's saying 3D object instead of object. Let's find out, because whatever that is, that's broken, that's not working, and without that, we're not getting the right upload file name here, which is triggering not to run the process. So that's why we're not getting the upload. Oops. There we go. And when I click on this, see, it didn't switch. When I click on categories blank. When I click on that, it goes to object, but it didn't go the different name here. So wherever I'm setting that name, which is this button, which should be right here, it didn't like something with this. So let me find out. Oh, the objects weren't null. I changed that name. That's my problem. Sorry, let me fix this. That's what it was. In here, I changed this name because of another issue I was working with. Instead of going by this block right here, is it? The details block. Oh, it isn't. That one should be... Uploaded objects div. Uploaded objects div. So this one... Style is not none, which means it's showing, which is the case, or is it? Yes, because this happens after. Oh, no, it doesn't. This reset button has to execute. Here it is. This is happening, but the problem is it's happening after this fires off, and this one doesn't finish in time. So when this one does its thing, it's making it reset the button up here when it should be resetting the button after it does this. So right around this time, There we go. If we do a reset button at the end of that pull, then it's going to know what button to do. That'll do it. That's what's wrong. Let's get this in place. I think that's exactly what it was doing. It was doing the reset button before it got to the point where it needs to. And so, yes, of course, that button is not found. See, now it says upload primary file. When I click it, here it is. Here's our files. There's a file. Let's see. Let's pick a different one. Well, box avatar. That's just a test case. Box avatar Babylon, open, and there we go. Box avatar. So file uploads do work. It dropped that piece in there very quickly. And from here, objects, box avatar is now here. And notice it's date and time stamp. Boom, it's right at this very moment. Okay, based on that. Okay, so we get that far. There's some more background work to do, to say the least. There's a lot of pieces to come in place before I can do multi-file uploads, but the single file uploads work. Like I said, I got someplace I need to be, so basically I'm going to call it a day here. And I'll see you again, and we'll jump back in on this and get the rest of this multi-file uploads working. And look at this, we're only 4 files away from completely getting rid of iframes, and that's the goal. So we'll keep digging, we'll keep chopping away at it, and before long we'll have it gone out of the way. So thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you've seen something new today or enjoyed it. And for all those that followed me, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Have a great day, and I'll see you again really soon.